There's something interesting that I've noticed on the entrepreneurship journey. I've got quite a few friends who are doing extremely well in the business game. And I know a lot of people who would look up to them and say, I want to be them. I want exactly what they want, and they would idolize them. And it's just very interesting to see the behind the scenes of things, obviously being connected into a lot of the online coaching space and certain people who are doing well, but also have internal struggles. Okay. And this is something that I've noticed across years of my life. And a common trend is that people are constantly looking outside of themselves for answers. People are constantly giving their answers and the power away to other people. And this is very common in the coaching industry because that a lot of the coaching industry and a lot of the indoctrination of the coaching industry has been that you should look to other people for answers. And there is a degree of truth to that. However, I do believe that marketers have used it to a point to where it can become quite detrimental, and people are taking the truth too far in regards to they don't value their own opinion and they don't value their own intuition for their own lives to make decisions for themselves. And I'll give you an example. I had someone come over the other day into my humble abode, and we have a pretty cool house here. So we're basically renting it out with a couple of friends, and we got like a nice 7-bedroom house here. And we all have our own thing, our own businesses. And I walked in, showing him the place, and one of the first things he said, I remember we took him out on the balcony, and he's like, wow, it's very peaceful. It's very peaceful here. And we continued to dialogue, and I could tell that there was a lot of internal conflict going on with him. And this is someone who's taken his business almost up to $1 million in 1 to 2 years, So someone who's done quite well financially in a short period of time, and still has a lot of internal conflict going on. And as we're continuing to talk, I could sense a little bit of just dis-ease, in regards to his circumstance. And obviously living here, having a lot of clarity on, let's say, where I'm going and what I'm doing, I like to always keep my peace. And you could really see the contrast in that. And it just reminds me that I think some of the biggest things that we really value in life and why we do what we do is because deep down we want love and peace. We want love from other people. We want to love ourselves. Actually, a lot of the reason why we want love from other people is because we don't recognize ourselves. So we seek validation outwardly, and also peace, because a lot of us, due to giving our power away to other people and putting it outside of ourselves, we don't feel a sense of peace. We feel dis-ease, simply because of the fact that we're always waiting, when will they give me validation? So you don't have clarity or peace. You don't rely on yourself for your own sense of validation. And I also had to go through this growing up, going through my fitness journey, getting in shape, doing then fitness coaching, then creating an online business, and then getting also in my dating life back in the day. I chased a lot of validation outside of me. If I couldn't get that girl, I wasn't enough. And you'd sit there just feeling like, they haven't responded yet, or they haven't done this. And it's terrible because you're always putting the power outside of you. And over time, what I've learned is that the more that you can get the sense of validation from yourself, then the more peaceful you will be. For example, I know that as long as I'm doing the actions that I feel is right in this very moment, because it's the only one that exists, then I'm great. I feel fucking great, right? Because we're always living in the past or the future, which is outside of ourselves, outside of actually any moment that exists. This is the only moment that exists. So what's the source of validation you are looking for in this moment? And it's not wise to have that be something that's outside of your control, right? What someone else thinks of you. It's not a wise move, because then again, you're giving your power away. So what is a wise move? Base it on something that is in your control, and that is your thoughts and your actions and your energy that you have as well. But thoughts and energy and your actions all come together to create the energy as well. And this has been the key for me to develop more peace in my life, which is, hey, I know that by default, I am worthy. I know that by default, you are worthy. There is nothing that really deems us as unworthy except our perception of ourselves and the rules that we create of what creates worthiness, right? By default, we all come from the same place. We are all connected in a way. So logically, I know that, which means if I ever think I'm not worthy, it's because I've made up a narrative. It's not real. So the moment that sensation comes up, I immediately catch it and go, oh, it's happening. Oh, like a false narrative is happening. And I can call it out. That's one thing. Now, for the times that you do get caught up in not feeling good about yourself, all I like to do is just go, what feels like the best course of action for me right now? If I was truly coming from a place of complete abundance, if I didn't have any limitations of myself, what would I actually be doing right now that is in the most alignment with the life that I've set out for myself and the goals that I've set out for myself? So in that context, then let's say for a moment that I'm going to continue to build up my client base and continue to spread the message. And I know that I have to create content to do that. Then in that moment, I'll be, okay, what would the best version of myself do right now? Because now's the only moment that exists. And then I simply just go, okay, well, what I would do is actually jump on, I would organize, create connections and create a circumstance where I can jump on a stage and speak to multiple people. Let me go do that right now. Oh, jump in front of the camera and speak a message like this. Let me go do that right now. Not scroll on my phone and do these things. Now, if I am having that filter and doing it, boom, I've ticked the box. What better is there to do than what is the best thing to do for your goal, or what you think the best thing is? What else is there to do? And that's the great thing is we're worthy by the default, and then also we're doing the things that we deem as the best course of action. How can you not feel fucking great about yourself? Oh, well, I'm not exactly where I want to be. Yeah, well, it's outside of your control. There's a delay when it comes to our actions and the result that it shows out here. In here, you can get instant results in regards to you can feel the feeling that you're looking for from this outside thing. You can actually choose to feel that feeling now. You can do that instantly. That's in your control. But then there's actually a delay from the perception of that result as a byproduct, which you have to understand. So remove judgment, because what else can you do? You have to accept that circumstance that you're in this world. You can choose to step into the person now, and that is your main source of validation. Is, are you in alignment with that person? If you are, kudos to you. Just keep doing it, and eventually reality out here will catch up. And that's it. That's it. And all the narratives, oh, I'm broke, I don't have this yet, I don't have that yet, you can choose to get rid of now, because you are living in the best course of action in this very moment, which is the only one that exists, okay? And I'm saying this because I see it way too much. I've got friends who are suffering. I know entrepreneurs who are suffering because everything that they do is because they think they're not good enough. And they don't realize that they're good enough by default. And as long as they choose to keep putting the power outside of themselves, they will never really feel the feeling that they're looking for by attaining these things. When in reality, the feeling they're looking for is a choice that they can choose to step into right now. And that's it. It's a choice for them to really step into that right now. And that is why some people, when they accomplish the goal that they thought would give them the feeling, they've never actually trained themselves and allowed themselves to feel the feeling. So when they get the thing, they feel a massive hit of depression or whatever they like to call it, right? They hit the thing, oh, it's not everything I thought it was. Of course, because you're not letting yourself experience it because you've trained yourself that way. I trained myself that way, Oh, well, even if I accomplished things, I wouldn't let myself celebrate because it wasn't good enough. And I thought that was a great mindset because it would make me work harder. But in reality, my vibration was lower, 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 and I would actually repel good life away from me. And I was just in a constant state of unhappiness, anger, a deep sense of sadness. Is that the life you want to live? Right? Oh, well, you got to postpone it until X, Y, Z. Well, the future doesn't exist. Now is the only moment. So why are you postponing it? You can still do the actions to create that thing, but why are you depriving yourself of life experience right now? It's all that there is. So get rid of the narrative that you can't be grateful and you can't be positive along the way. You can. And in fact, I would argue that you would have a more fulfilling life if you learn to do so. Learn from my mistake and learn from what I see happening a lot in the coaching industry, and in life, with everyone in life. I hope that helps. I'm sniffling a lot, so bear that in mind. And hell yeah. Life is fucking beautiful, man. But teach yourself to enjoy it. Hope it helps.